What do we even know about what really happened in Texas and the Texas Massacre, they're calling it? Do we know anything at this point? Let's get to it. What's cracking, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a video based on the shooting that we heard about, that we saw on TV. I did a video on this on my other channel, my smaller channel. And when I did that video, I did it with, I was upset. Women were lost. A child was lost. Here's the story. Here's what the initial story was. The initial story was there was a family that was in their home, minding their own business. And their neighbor was firing off his rifle. While he was firing off his rifle, it was scaring a child in the home, right? The other home, the neighbors, the victims, family. They had a child that was scared and couldn't sleep because of the gunfire. And so we were told that members of that family went and peacefully approached Mr. Oropesa, the one who's been arrested. They politely approached him and asked him, "Can you please stop firing off your weapon? It's scaring our kid." And according to the initial reports, initial story, what was relayed through the media and the victims, Mr. Oropesa became enraged that his neighbors would have the audacity to come and ask him to stop firing his weapon. And in that rage, he went to attacking the people that came to talk to him. Now, that is a sensational story, and we all bit into it. But there were two questions that stuck in my head. One of them was something that I had discussed, and people I was talking to about it kept saying the same thing, kept asking the same question. Why would the men run off and leave the women and children? How? How does that happen? And there was a second small question in my head, and it had to do with the women supposedly telling the men, "Run. He won't hurt us. He'll go after you guys," right? So I accepted it, the story that came out, as the majority of us did, right? Wow, now there are new things coming out. Is it true? I don't know, but I don't know which version is true. But let's get to what's coming out now about this. And we have to ask ourselves, did the authorities get fooled? Will we ever know the truth now? So here's what's coming out now. First of all, there's a video on TikTok. Supposedly it's from one of the neighbors, I guess. And they're recording the gunfire. And it sounds like there's more than one gun. But let's get down to what supposedly the other side is saying now. So from what's being said now, Mr. Oropesa was a very quiet dude, very humble dude, very helpful, nice to his neighbors. And he was at his own home. And allegedly, from the victims group, 2 men came out of the house. They had been partying. Supposedly, they were partying at that house. And their dog was missing. And so they approached Mr. Oropesa's property and heatedly demanded to know where their dog was. Mr. Oropesa allegedly says, I don't know where your dog is, but I know he's killed 3 of my chickens already. So they're in an exchange of words, allegedly, right? And one of the victim group threatens to take Mr. Oropesa's life over the dog and takes off running to his home. And that Mr. Oropesa was like, okay, if I'm dying, it ain't going to be in my house. So he went and got his weapon. When he went inside, I'm assuming in this different scenario, the other individual from the victim's home made his way back to the house. Whatever happened, we won't know. We don't know. But what's being said is this. Mr. Oropesa fired the first shot, supposedly, allegedly. And the woman got caught in a crossfire. The woman and child got caught in a crossfire that supposedly Mr. Oropesa's bullet struck the woman, and the victim group in return fire, they struck the child. How people would know which bullet hit which person, I don't know, unless Mr. Oropesa had talked to some people before he was arrested and said, look, this is what really happened. If that's the case, it kind of makes sense for the first question. The question that when I would talk to people about the case, like, hey, you trip out on this case? What is Raza? What Raza is known supposedly for being macho, right? For being extremely macho. How do those men tell their women, stay here, we're going to run? How does that happen? That's not the way we're raised. We're raised to protect our women. I think every man is, regardless of nationality or race. You always protect the women and children as a man. That's ingrained in every man, I would think, right? So why would they run? Let's factor in this new story. If you know you fired a weapon, then you know there's gunpowder on you and your clothing. You know the cops are coming. You know you brought a pistol to an AK fight that you can't win. You're drunk. You don't want to go to jail. So you're going to get the hell out of Dodge. Hide the weapon. I don't know. If I'm dumb enough to where, in my old way of thinking, if I'm pulling out a gun, I'm not running. But these are different people. I think maybe they thought, hey, we can scare them. I don't know. I do not know what the truth is, but I know it doesn't make sense. The first story, the initial reports that these dudes would say to their women and children, stay here. We're out of here. Now, the second question that I always had in the back of my head was the women supposedly saying, he won't come after us, just go. It kind of sounds like he was a humble dude. He was somebody that wasn't violent, wasn't known to be violent. If the women really did say that, then they know him to be that way. A crossfire, an accident, I don't know. But I feel like because I did a video on it on my other channel, I felt that with this new evidence, with these new explanations coming out, it was only right that I at least put them out there. I don't know what the hell happened, but I know one thing. If this new version that's coming out is true, if it's not just someone trying to explain or justify a random act of viciousness, if it's not that, and his version is accurate, I guarantee you the police didn't swab anybody's hands in the victim's side. And it's too late to swab them now. There's not going to be any more gunpowder residue. So this is going to probably turn into one of those things where we are never going to really know what happened. But Mr. Oropesa is going to jail. Is he going to get the death penalty now? I'm sure his attorney is going to, with this argument, try to put some doubt in a juror's mind. All he needs to do is put doubt in one juror's mind. But over a dog? Was it overshooting in the air or was it over a dog? Either way, it was senseless. I know one thing. If Mr. Oropesa is right, then those men in that house are going to have to figure out how to live with what they created. If the original story is right, Mr. Oropesa is going to have to live with what he did. It's just unfortunate that the incident occurred and that no one's ever going to know what really happened. That's my video for today. If you liked it, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the all on notifications, and share this video with someone who you think would enjoy it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.